Hi everyone, welcome to Food with Rose. Today we're going to make Caribbean style stewed fish. Okay, now it's made in 3 simple parts. First, we're going to season the fish and set this aside for roughly an hour or so. Then we're going to fry the fish and then we're going to set that aside while we make the stew sauce. Then we add back the fried fish into the pot. Okay, so you're going to see 3 simple steps, but it has many small ingredients and I'll show you how it's done. So for the first part, as I said, we're going to season the fish, right? So what I did earlier, I just washed the fish in some water and some lemon juice. I drained the lemon juice, sapped the fish pretty dry, and now I'm just going to add back some of the dry ingredients. So this is just some salt. Now ideally they say when you sprinkle from a height. That way you get a nice spread of the ingredients and of the salt. And there are no salty spots per se. Okay. Same goes with the black pepper. Now we're going to use some smoked paprika. Ideally in the Caribbean, if you have ruku, that's the best thing. You'd use 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on the amount of fish you're actually stewing. So I'm just going to use a couple dashes of the smoked paprika in this case. I'll just shake this one out. And then we could also use some fine thyme on the fish. Now last but not least is the green seasoning. I do have a recipe on my channel, so you can always visit and I'll put the link in the descriptions. Okay, so for the amount of fish that I have here, I'm just going to use about 2 tablespoons. That'll be added. So now the fish was seasoned with the salt, black pepper, smoked paprika, and fine thyme. And it was seasoned on both sides and rubbed in. And now we're going to set this aside for, I would say, about an hour before we go to fry. So now we're just going to dust the fish before I set it in. Okay, so now we're on the final part and we're going to make the stew sauce. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to dice up the tomatoes. It'll be roughly about 3 for the amount of fish that I'm cooking. And I'm going to dice these up and put these on a slow fire over the stove behind me, right? And after, I'll reintroduce that into the stew mixture later on, okay? So that'll be the first step. Okay, so now we're on to the final part. We're going to make the stew sauce, okay? So what I did, I sliced the garlic. Most people like it minced, but I like to slice it. It gives a nice effect. I minced some ginger, fresh ginger. So we'll add that to the oil. I have some pimento, some Julienne sliced onions and sweet peppers, and some chopped greens towards the end. We'll just add that in for flavor. Over here, I have the tomatoes that were melted, or I should say cooked down with about a teaspoon of brown sugar, and that'll be added to the mix as well. Okay, so to start things off, I'll add approximately 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. All right, and with that, we're going to add the secret ingredient, which is about 2 tablespoons of salt butter. Now, not salted butter, but salt butter. We would know this as Golden Ray, so they're not paying me for that advert, but yeah. So that's about 2 tablespoons there. Melt that down. Okay. So we're just going to stir that up. As that melts in the pot, I'm going to add the garlic along with the minced ginger. Turn this down. Just lower that heat there. Gotta stretch. All right. So we have the vegetable oil, the salt, butter, the ginger and garlic. We're gonna let that cook for a little bit. Not to burn, just cook so it's simmering. And the next thing I'm gonna add is the onions and sweet pepper. You want it to cook down, but you want the onions and the sweet pepper to remain, to keep its integrity. So that's why I cooked the tomatoes before. So we can just add that in at an opportune time. So we'll just let this cook for a little bit more. I'll give it a couple more stirs. Now I'm gonna add some black pepper and a little salt, just to make sure we layer the flavors in. Okay, so. Now I'll mix that up. Right. So that cooks down well. We're gonna add the pimentos. Okay. Now we're going to stew. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay, put that here. And the next ingredient, it is optional. Oyster sauce, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce as well. But oyster sauce goes well with most fish dishes, so yeah. As that cooks, now we're going to add the tomatoes that was previously stewed in. The final part, I'm going to add the fried fish into the pot. We put the tail first. Give it a nice little coat. Yeah. Now the fish has already been cooked, so it's just about having it gel with the sauce at this point in time. And this dish you can eat with rice or provisions. I mean, mostly anything. Cuckoo, that's a popular dish as well, with corn flour. All right. Yeah. I don't want to overcrowd the pot, so I'll just put those 6 pieces in. Just gonna add the greens to go at the end. This again will add another layer of flavor. Yeah. Cover it. Well, now you've seen it. We've done the 3 steps. We seasoned the fish, we fried it, and we made the stew sauce. And this is the end result. What I've chose to do, I paired it with cassava, boiled cassava, lightly salted. And yeah, looks good. I'm gonna have a bite shortly, and I hope you do too. So if you like what you saw, just like and subscribe, put your comments below, and I'll see you again.